Welcome to today's episode of Off the Cuff, and today we're going to be talking about why I chose this car over a BRZ or a lighter but same speed level car. I guess that's what you would call it as far as 0 to 60 and general handling stats go. Well, short answer is I needed funny enough, I needed the trunk space. And I didn't really think that the BRZ could deliver as far as trunk space goes. So that is my main reason why I got a V6 Camaro slash muscle car over a probably slightly more engaging BRZ. Another reason why is the Camaros of this generation have really nice interiors, at least compared to my old 20-year-old Lexus that I used to drive. So this car does all right for itself as far as speed goes. Actually, speaking of speed, I have no idea what the speed limit is here. But yeah, that is the main reason I got this specific car over a BRZ. Now, why not a Challenger, you may say, with the RT package? Well, number one is insurance would have really sucked. And number two is I'm not a huge fan of the boaty feeling that those cars provide. I'm not saying that the experience is necessarily like bad, but I wanted a more nimble car. And not to mention, the V6 version of that car as well is so much slower than this version. Like, if you've ever seen a video of a roll race with this car and an RT, you would understand that there's no point in getting the V6 version of that car. You're just gonna get laughed at by a Camry. And honestly, that's not what we wanted. I wanted to be able to have a little fun. And not to mention, I know it's not like crazy, but this car revs up to about 7,200 RPM. I may be a little wrong on that number, I'm not sure. Actually, let me give this kiddo some room. And also, this car just, it may be a bit of a boat, but sometimes it's fun to make the boat handle well. And if you don't agree with that, I don't know what to tell you, because this is so much fun. And not to mention, we got 335 horsepower and not a whole lot of torque. But you may be saying, oh, why don't you guys get a Nissan Z? I'll go back to the interior point that I made earlier. The interiors in these cars is so nice. And I was kind of, I don't want to sound mean, but I was looking in a little bit of a different tax bracket than the 350 Zs. Like, sure, I could have got a nicer 370, but I didn't want to have to contend with the trumpet allegations, which I ended up contending with anyway with the V6 in this car. But at the end of the day, this car, I drove both. This car was much more comfortable than the Z. And not to mention, this car, the back seats, from what people tell me, are somewhat comfy, which I still find hard to believe. Yeah. I will say, there are a few downsides to the V6 Camaro over, per se, a BRZ or a 350 or 370Z or a Charger RT. Number one is the sound is... it leaves a little to be desired, I won't even lie. And that's why we have a Borla axle back on this car. And it really does help, especially with the manual transmission, to have that system on it. But you are trading a little bit of raw sound for more, in my opinion, more emotion. Because this car likes to scream a bit, especially with this exhaust on it. But yeah, the BRZ and the Charger and Challenger RT are definitely more popular platforms. But I wanted a more unique experience that would be more me. Especially considering my first car was a 1995 V6 Camaro. Don't get me wrong, this thing's so much faster. But I honestly kind of wanted to continue that legacy of just having a V6 muscle car and being the underdog, I guess. If that makes any sense. But it's definitely not slow. I'll show you guys here in fudge another. As you can see, talking and filming and driving all at the same time, not easy. But that one was definitely my fault. So sorry to the Silverado owner. But yeah, today we are on some nicer backcountry roads that I really enjoy. And yeah, that's why I bought a V6 Camaro, the so-called slow car that's a little bit faster than your BRZ, and should have got the Scat Bag. As far as my EcoBoost allegations, as far as why didn't I get an EcoBoost, not enough sound, just didn't have enough emotion for me, I guess. But don't get me wrong, those are still great cars. I just wanted more grunt, I guess, from the sound department. I know technically they have a lot more torque and they're definitely probably faster, but at the end of the day I was looking for more emotion than speed. So that's my decision. What would you have bought with the $25,000 in your pocket? Let me know down in the comments. Alright, thanks for watching, and as always, drive safe.